Hi everyone, I'm Nadia, and in today's video I'm making a beautiful set of 3D flower resin coasters. I'm using craft resin, and this is my favorite resin to use to achieve 3D flowers. It's a 1-to-1 ratio by volume, and I'll have a discount code in my description if you want to give them a try. And this beautiful flower mold is from Mel B Molds. I pour equal parts of my part A and B and mix it together well. I'm mixing in this small measuring cup, so I decided to mix in just a little bit more just in case. Then I pour my resin into smaller cups to add in my pigments. The first pigment I'm using is Craft Resin's Mica Powder in the shade Yellow. I take a small amount onto my wooden stick and place it into my cup of resin. Next, I'm using Craft Resin's Mica Powder in the shade Rouge, followed by their Lavender Mica Powder. And I make sure to mix those all in well. For my white pigment, I'm using Just Resin's pigment paste in the shade Titanium White, and I always make sure to mix pigment paste in the container first before adding some into my cup of resin. As always, I'll have all of the products that you see in this video listed in my description, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. I'm mixing in some gold leaf flakes to be the center detail. Once I have everything prepared and mixed in good, I start to pour my clear resin into the molds. I post extra tips on my Patreon page, and you can also receive resin consultations through my third tier. Or if you just like to support my channel, I'll leave my Patreon page linked in my description, and any support is really appreciated. I use my silicone makeup brush to make sure that the resin has reached the very edges of the molds. And I use a torch gun to pop any air bubbles, and I'm moving it quickly not to burn my molds or my resin. Then I start off by grabbing my white pigmented resin and pour around the mold in a flower petal shape. Followed by my yellow pigmented resin in the center. Next, I take my rouge pigmented resin and pour next to my yellow pigmented resin. And lastly, my lavender pigmented resin closest to where I poured my white pigmented resin. I use a wooden stick to drag between each flower petal. Then I carefully apply my gold leaf flakes into the very center. And here I am the next day demolding. I use an X-Acto knife to scrape off any of the lifted edges. Then I prepare them for a top coat, and to do so I'm applying liquid latex onto the bottom side close to the edges. And this will prevent any resin while it drips over the edge from curing onto the bottom side. I prop them up onto cups, and again using craft resin I add on my top coat. And here's the final product. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Follow me on my Instagram, Summer Girl Designs, and my mom's Instagram, Wild Heart Resin Art.